But now, welcome back to the students once again. Now, let us go into another important topic, which is the fractures. Now, what do I mean by a fracture? A fracture is a break in the continuity of a bone. Fracture is a break in the continuity of a bone. And the various ways of classifications of the fracture depending upon the mechanism of injury, whether it's a direct injury or an indirect injury or a traction injury or a compression fracture. Now, along with the fracture, there can also be a dislocation. Now, what do I mean by dislocation? Dislocation is a complete disruption of the joint articular surface. There is no more articular surface are not in contact with each other. The other entity is called as a subluxation. This is a partial dislocation. Some part of the articular surface is in contact with some part, other part of the articular surface here, right? Now, you must not only, when you are looking for a fracture, you should not only look for the fracture, look for any dislocation, the joint dislocation especially, look for any soft tissue injury, look for the vascular injuries, look for the nerve injuries. So that the basic aspects of the fracture. The various methods have been attempted to classify the fractures depending upon whether it is a epiphyseal fracture, a metaphyseal fracture, or depending upon which a diaphyseal fracture, or is it the epiphyse which is involved, or is it a compression fracture, is it a transverse fracture, is it a spiral fracture? The various ways of but the most accepted classification is fractures depending upon the etiology of the fracture, depending upon the etiology, the pathology of the fracture. Number one, is it a traumatic fracture? Definitely, most of the fractures are because of a trauma. Is it a traumatic fracture? Two, is it a pathological fracture? What do I mean by pathological fracture? Is there any underlying pathology in the bone which makes it easy to be amenable to a fracture? Now, what could be the pathological fracture? Number one, is there a tumor? For example, is there any giant cell tumor? Or is there these metastatic secondaries in the bone? Or is there any, apart from the primary bone disease, primary neoplastic disorder of the bone? That means, so neoplastic disorders of the bone can also lead to what is called the pathological fracture. Or is there any cystic lesions of the bone cysts? Now, after that, is there any infection involved in the bone? So, any infection of the bone is called as an osteomyelitis. So, if at all it is there, is it an acute osteomyelitis or it may be a chronic osteomyelitis? Then, metabolic bone disorders can also give rise to the fractures of the bone. So, what are those metabolic bone disorders? Especially yesterday we have discussed about the hyperparathyroidism. The osteoporosis, where there is osteoporosis, it can be a senile osteoporosis or it can be a postmenopausal osteoporosis. Or is it a Paget's disease of the bone? Sir James Paget, Paget's disease of the bone. Then is there a stress fracture? Usually, people who are marching for long duration, for example, the military persons, the army personnel, they can have a march fracture, especially the metaphyseal bone or the metaphyseal of the heads of the metaphyseal heads of the metacarpal bones involved in the case of a march fracture. Or depending upon the plane of the fracture, is it a transverse fracture? Is it a spinal fracture? Especially spinal fracture, very commonly seen in football. Because football, when they go and dribble their legs, their legs get entangled by gripping air. So what happens is they develop what is called as a spinal fracture. Or is it an oblique fracture? Or is it a comminuted fracture? COMMINUT, comminuted, multiple spicules of fragments at a second. Comminuted fracture. Or is it a compression fracture? Fall from a height and produce a bench compression fracture of the spine. Then the other entities, there can be special fractures. For example, a depressed fracture of the skull. When a constable comes and hits someone with a lathi on the head. So what happens is there can be a depressed fracture or the pond fracture of a skull bone, of skull, or fracture dislocation. Is there any, suppose for example, shoulder gets involved in a fracture dislocation? Is it an anterior dislocation or a posterior dislocation, usually occurring with the shoulder? Or is it a fracture involving the joint line? Most important. The fracture involving the joint line. Or is it a simple fracture? That means it's not going, the skin is not opened up. Is it a simple fracture? Or is it a compound fracture? Is it a compound fracture? Or is it a complex fracture which is involving the vessels, which are involving the nerves? So all these things must be borne in mind when you're trying to stratify the fracture. So once after this has occurred, once after this thing has occurred, then you must know how the fracture heals. How does the fracture heal? So fracture healing is a paramount importance because the person comes to you. A person is brought to the road. He is brought with the road traffic accident. He has sustained multiple fractures. He is brought to the casualty. So what you are supposed, first and foremost thing is safe transport of the patient is of paramount importance. Suppose looking at a patient on the road without sustained a fracture because of a road traffic, please ever do not bend his neck or his thing, because lest going to a paraplegia or a quadriplegia, right? So the safe transfer of the patient plays a very important role. You must put your hands behind you must support his head, support his back, and then put him into the ambulance. Or you ring up once they make ambulance number, let them come and they will do this. But it's better all of you should know the first aid measure when you encounter a fracture. So when you are going into healing of a fracture, why is it important? Because the fracture healing, the person wants almost near total anatomical and structural congruity of the fracture segments. He does not want to have any disability. The main aim of trying to treat a fracture is to heal. You must come almost to near anatomical vision and almost the structural integrity as well as the functional integrity is to be maintained. So once when you are dividing the surface bears out the fracture heals, but the most important thing is first is the stage of hematomorphosis. What do I mean by stage of hematomorphosis? That means at the site of the fracture. First, the stage of hematomorphosis. That is because of the tearing of the periosteum. All of you know the bone is covered with periosteum. So tearing of the periosteum. Or it's because of the soft tissue injuries. Or because of injury to the endosteal vessels. Right? So the stage of hematomorphosis. Then this is there for a period of 2 to 3 days. Then what happens is the cellular stage sets. What do I mean by cellular stage? That means the cells now come and try to engulf the hematoma. Most importantly is the fusiform fibroblast invade the clot, and the clot will be repaired by fibrous and fibrovascular tissue, fibrovascular system. So there can be an osteoblastic proliferation. There can be an osteoblastic proliferation which can lead to dense periosteum. There can be fibroblastic cells which undergoes metaplasia and forms the chondroblast, which forms the future cartilage there, and the osteoid tissue which forms the future bone there. Then you have got the stage of callus, C-A-L-U-S, callus. Prior to that, you can also mention the stage of a provisional callus formation. But suffice it for you to know the stage of callus formation, where the callus is the new bone which is formed, which has good blood supply, and the new bone is laid down there. If poor blood supply is there, it is not the callus which is laid down there, it is the cartilage. Then you have got all this. These types of the callus can be classified as external callus, intermediate callus, and internal callus. The external callus bridges the gap. Intermediate callus again bridges the seals of the fracture site, and the internal callus again seals of the callus site. And then you have got the stage of consolidation. And the bone is nicely consolidated, and the architecture of the the bone is nicely maintained. So these are all the various. So stage of callus, stage of hematoma formation, stage of cellular formation, stage of prominent callus, stage of callus formation, and stage of bone formation, and stage of consolidation. And various factors promote the healing of the fracture, and there are various factors which can impede the healing of a fracture.